right, welcome back to Accenture Presents the Economic Times Femina FemTech powered by Adobe. Now, I'm sure you've had a fantastic morning towards the afternoon, but as evening brings in so much more, and I promise you so much more. So let's get straight into our next session, and this one comes in with the rise of women and the changing landscape. Thought with much more. And to do so and take us forward into it, may I please welcome Senior Vice President, Head of Technology, Omega Healthcare Management Services Private Limited, Vijayashree Natarajan, with us right now.
Hi everyone, very good evening to you all. This is Vijayashree Natarajan, Senior Vice President, Head of Technology from Omega Healthcare. I'm really excited and happy to be part of this session. As part of today's session, I'll be walking you all through a topic of the day, STEM, the rise of women and the changing landscape. For the next 15 minutes, I'll be covering an overview of STEM with the current trends, getting into the specifics of women in STEM and the STEM gap and the role of women in the digital revolution, and finally, rise and future of women in STEM, the changing landscape. As we all know, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And the STEM approach helps to explore and experience. It gives the understanding of concepts and it encourages for the knowledge application. And the four fields in general share an emphasis on the in-depth understanding of concepts in the science stream, bringing in innovation through technology, critical thinking and problem solving applied in your engineering discipline, and analyze information using mathematical models for preventing errors. So all these four fields help to improve natural and human built worlds. And as we all have seen, STEM jobs have grown by 79% in the past 3 decades, and it is expected to grow even higher in the coming years. And when it comes to the current trend, the technology, the T in STEM gains prominence. When I say technology gains prominence, it is like the technology has become the driver, has taken the driving seat and started influencing the other 3 streams in the STEM space. For example, tech-driven scientific research, helping the scientific experiments by innovative technologies. Then artificial intelligence has started taking prominence in the technology space. The AI is not a new buzzword. It has been around for more than 4 or 5 decades in the form of supercomputers. But the prominence of artificial intelligence has started, gaining popularity in the last, I would say, 1 decade mainly because of the advancement in the hardware technology, which has helped with the more processing power, where the AI becomes reality and AI technologies become really affordable, in order to get applied in the different industries or different fields. So thus AI is taking a prominence within the technology space. Similarly, Internet of Things is a new buzzword in the engineering space, where with all the invention and of many technologies, the connectivity of your sensors and the machine learning, the connecting of different devices in the connected world, applying the leveraging the machine learning technologies, the Internet of Things, has gained prominence within the engineering space. Similarly, human-centered computing in the mathematics world. When I say human-centered computing, it is the kind of the collaboration of human intelligence with the machine artificial intelligence. So thus, getting into a new paradigm called collective intelligence, where the computing methodology has become human-centered, and introducing a new terminology called the collective intelligence. So that's how the technology has taken a prominence across all the 4 fields. So we can definitely say that's a current trend in this STEM. Getting into the specifics of women in STEM, I've tried to give some statistics globally as well as data within India. As you can see it here, 33% of researchers worldwide are women. 35% of STEM students in higher education are women. And when it comes to the entry-level graduates in engineering, it is around 28%. And the computer science, it's relatively higher, 40% of those in the computer science stream. And when it comes to mathematics and statistics students, globally only 5% are being represented by women. When you take the statistics within India, the percentage of women graduating in STEM at an entry level in India is higher than the other developed nations. In India, it is around 47% in the year 2016, compared to the other developed nations like United States and Germany, United Kingdom, where they are around 38 and 27% respectively. The trend continued in India in 2017 and 2018, reaching a 43%, close to 44%. And the number of women in India opted for STEM as a field of study has increased in the last 3 years by 5.3%. So it's a good trend. Definitely we can see that the representation of women in India is better compared to the other developed countries. Getting into the STEM gap, while we see a good percentage, a decent percentage when it comes to the entry level representation of women in the STEM space, whereas in the women role in the digital revolution, women remain a minority in the industry 4.0 fields and making up only 28% of the overall workforce in the STEM. So this gender gap widens as they progress in their career. And when it comes to artificial intelligence, as we have seen in the previous few slides, where AI has taken a prominence in the overall STEM field, the representation of women in the AI as AI professional is only 22%. And you can actually see the share of women in the top 20 countries where the AI professionals, average it is globally 22, and India is fairly near to the average, it is at 22%. And clearly, you can see the other countries. Certain countries, the women representation, like in Singapore, Italy, South Africa, is even above the global average, right? While we have a representation in the AI field, but it is very important, to increase the women representation because women need to be part of the digital economy to prevent the industry 4.0 from perpetuating the traditional gender biases, right? When I say traditional gender bias, as you can see, the impact of AI, the way the AI technology works, it depends on the historical data to be fed in by the humans to make the AI mimic the human actions and the decision making, right? It is all depending on the human fed data, and it is very important for women to be part of such research and development activity in order to prevent, not a gender biased data being fed into your AI models, right? So we need to understand the technology space, and the power of the AI can be applied in a very, very right direction for the economical growth. At the same time, it also has the power to become a bad influencer for the society, right? So it is very important, and the representation of women in such R&D activities is very important. And I would say that is the gap which we should really be looking forward for filling in, so that women play a major role in the digital revolution. So what can we do for the rise and future of women in STEM, right? So as you can see here, the 3% of STEM workforce, STEM industry CEOs are represented by women. When it comes to the board positions, it is relatively better than the CEO positions. There are around 19% of women represent as of 2020. But still, we have a long way to go to take up the leadership positions, right? So when we say the rise and future of women in STEM, the changing landscape, it's not something which we can do in a day or two. It has to be a journey, and it has to be applied in different phases of a women's career, and that there should be a clear focus for nurturing and motivating and empowering the women. When I say nurturing young girls, it should start from your childhood days, from the way we make our girls do dream about their career. We need to ensure that the girls are nurtured with STEM dreams, and we have to break the stereotype. And as you can clearly see, many girls would love to play with Barbie dolls, with all those Cinderellas, Barbie in kitchen, Alice in Wonderland kind of dolls. Whereas if you get into any toy shop if you get into a boys section, you can clearly see the Legos of the world, the mechanics, the mechanical engineering or the automobile engineering, the science basics, toys in the boys section. So we really there is a need for breaking the stereotype in order to nurture the young girls with STEM dreams. And recently, last year, Mattel, the manufacturer of Barbie doll, they really introduced something which is breaking the stereotype. They have introduced Barbie dolls representing the medical workers and the scientists who have actually helped in the pandemic period. They've also introduced the COVID vaccine inventor, who's a woman. They have also introduced a doll. So such small things will definitely help in kind of seeding the STEM dreams with the young girls at a very early age. And similarly, as we could see, the presence of women in the AI field was very less. The technology space is very less. It is very important to induct girls into the computers and the coding space and the technology space at a very early age when they are into their schools, or I would say schools, right? There are many initiatives such as Girls Who Code, Women Who Code, a Woman in Digital. There are many such initiatives which have started coming in. These are all good signs of really changing the landscape where we can start exposing the girls into the technology space very early age. Moving on, once you are, nurtured girls with the good STEM dreams, while they are getting into the actual their peak period of their career, and historically we have seen women quit their jobs after completing 5 or 10 years, whatever field maybe, be it your technology or a science stream or a engineering space, right? It's all because of the need for the work-life balance, and they really need to be motivated to overcome those challenges in order to sustain their career, right? So it is very important to create a visibility for the role models. And recently, a couple of years back, our Indian government introduced the establishment of 11 chairs in the names of Indian women scientists at institutes across the country. This is clearly a very good motivating factor for women, because they can, definitely get inspiration from looking at those women scientists who have achieved in the early ages, in their early years. This will definitely help them to, motivate them to overcome those challenges to sustain their career, right? So, as I said, creating visibility for the role models, especially women role models, especially Indian women scientists, is a great move. So definitely any woman would be looking forward for becoming such a role model for the younger generations in future. Moving on, after nurturing and motivating and for reaching the greater heights, and as you can see, only 3% of STEM industry CEOs are from women. So definitely we need to have more empowerment, and empowering women and trusting them to take up leadership positions is very important. And if you want to quote an example for real example for empowering a woman, what better example I can bring in other than the women of Mission Mangal, right? Where about 27% of key executive positions in this mission were held by women at ISRO. It was clearly a proud moment for all of us to watch those scientists, this empowering women to reach great heights. And in this case, they have literally reached great heights. They have actually reached Mars, right? So this is a clear example of what an empowering woman could actually bring in. This will actually motivate people to create more opportunities for women leaders. This will definitely fill the gaps for just having 3% of women CEOs in the STEM industry, right? So proud moment for all of us. We would love to see more smiling women, faces in the upcoming years, where they can actually really reach great heights. Last but not the least, as I said, the overall, the rising of women in STEM is a journey, and what is really required across the different phases is mentoring, right? While you are nurturing the young girls, motivating and then empowering them, the mentoring is one aspect which has to be there throughout this three major phases of women career. And in a digital landscape where we are seeing very few women leaders who have reached great heights, it is the responsibility for women leaders to become a mentor for another woman, right? So mentoring is a important aspect, and in order to emphasize, it has to be a woman mentoring woman is more important, because they would have, any woman mentor would have faced the same challenge which an upcoming woman leader is actually facing. So it would really help them to share their stories, to inspire them with their accomplishments and playing a critical role. So As a women leader, everybody has a playing a critical role to mentor others, not to quit their career. They just need to stick around. They should be bold enough to face those challenges, so they can clearly reach, great heights. So that they can dream bigger, right? With this, with a closing note, the forum in which we are all assembled today, it's a clear example of creating more women mentors, and I am really happy to be part of this session, where we can learn from each other, inspire from each other. And I would like to thank the organizers for giving me such a wonderful opportunity for me to share my thoughts on the rise of women. Thank you so much.
Well, that's exactly what we are waiting for. Thank you again, Vijayashree, for that prospect about what more about the rise of women and the changing landscape. With that, I want to take back to the history again and bring back the Hall of Fame. And trust me, each time I bring in, I see so many of you wondering, and much more is that it motivates you about what has started back in the days is reshaping now for all of us. So, our next Hall of Fame is Elizabeth Finlow. Well, she was born in the year 1931 and discovered her love for data completions. From the year 1972 to 89, she became the director of ARPANET, Network, and the Network Information Center, which were under contact with the Department of Defense. Her group developed the first Internet Yellow and White Pages servers, as well as the first query-based network hostname and address service. Elizabeth is well known for introducing the domain name protocol, the .coms, the .nets, the .govs that are being used every day. So that's exactly what came in from about 3-4 decades back is what you are seeing right now, and it's only getting bigger. The next person is Annie Isley. Now, she is someone who was born in the year 1933. Annie majored in pharmacy but applied for a job at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, the NACA, for strong math skills, and she began her career as a human computer. Well, that's right, a human computer, doing computations for researchers, and Annie was one of the 4 African Americans who worked at the NACA. Very less get to be there, but she was one among them, and later developed her skills to become a programmer. She developed and implemented the code that led to the development of batteries used in hybrid cars. That's right. What we all speak about in the current scenario and generation about having the hybrid cars with battery, it was led by her. And that's exactly why we are bringing in Hall of Fame to you, because I want you all to know what was there that is only getting bigger, but it started back in the days. With that, let's move on to our next session. And I'm sure you all are waiting for the CISO chat, striking a right balance between technology, agility, and security. Isn't that a big question?
So